Hey everybody, how you doing? UPS PVD Dave here. Wishing you and yours a safe and happy Thanksgiving. If you're watching this video and you were working on Thanksgiving Day, thank you very much for whatever job you were performing out there for the rest of us public. Wednesday, November 24th, 2022, 4:30 a.m. in the morning. I usually get up pretty early, read the news, get caught up on YouTube, see if any of you have posed some questions that I can answer. Also was putting the final touches on some of my custom paint jobs for iRacing. Everything you see is my work, as far as the paint scheme goes. Get some coffee in me, go through my morning routine, feeding the cats indoors and out. Yes, I take care of the outdoor guys. We have cats that run the trailer court, and I've never had a mouse in the house. And you say, well, if you're feeding them, aren't they, not going to chase the mice? No, cats are killers. They'll go after anything that moves, whether they got a full belly or not. As I mentioned before, we're getting a much earlier start this season versus previous seasons. I get a text message around 7:10 from Diane, my liaison at the UPS Ames hub, and she says, start time is 7:30, and I texted back, there's no way I'm going to be there in 10 or 15, 20 minutes. And then she texted back and she goes, no, I just changed the start time in case any of you guys want to come in and help unload the truck and get extra hours. A couple of the guys had indicated they want to do that. Me, not so much. I'd rather just show up and drive. Thank you. So the cats are fed and I am fed. I'm a eggs, hash browns, and sausage guy. Have damn near the same breakfast every day. About 8:15, I head out on the road. Don't pay attention to the dash cam clock. I forgot to change it when we did the fall back. Speedwagon's on fumes, so I got to stop and get gas before we start the day. I have a Sam's Club membership, the $45 regular kind, and Sam's Club, in my area at least, they're up to 40 cents a gallon less than most of the regular convenience store gas stations. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but if you're in the delivery gig industry, man, you gotta have some kind of gasoline rewards program going for you. Like I said, $45 a year membership gets me gas that's up to 40 cents a gallon less. And then I have an Amazon Visa card that has a rewards program that gives me points that I can use on Amazon to buy more shit. Casey's General Store convenience store in the Midwest, they have a rewards program. It takes a while, but I haven't cashed my rewards in for about a year, and I'm down to $1.41 per gallon for 20 gallons at their rewards program. So yeah, if you're in the delivery gig industry, you need some kind of gasoline purchase rewards program. Look into it in your area. By the way, I'm still getting text messages and emails welcoming me to the UPS team now that I've completed orientation. Several of you guys reported that you've given up because it's just been too much of a cluster. Nobody can get anything right. The hub isn't expecting you. The third party is just a disaster. God, I hope UPS drops it for next year. She said, hey, when I send you the text message about what time to show up and all that, do you want me to include your package count? And I said, nah, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do to prepare for it. I'll just deal with it as time comes. And my third year, I've got several different strategies. Little did I know that today I'd have to put them all into play. So I get to the West Ames hub location, get all signed in, and my itinerary builds. Record freaking day. 107 stops, 145 packages. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure in the previous 2 years, I tickled, 120, 125, maybe 130, but not 145 packages. This season, the prior record was 131 packages. I did that twice, once with 79 stops and once with 85 stops. I've never mentioned this before, but one of the metrics that I use is how many packages there are per stop. So if you take 145 divided by 107, you come up with 1.35 packages per stop. I've done this before just casually, and usually it's around 1.1 or maybe 1.2. So actually this is a pretty high package count average per each individual stop. That's good. You're going to offload stuff real quick. They've got a full-size semi to unload today, plus a box truck. I pull into the warehouse there, and immediately I see a whole lot of bigs. One of the other PVDs that has a smaller crossover SUV, he's already loading up his bigs. I back in. I think I load about 10 boxes that completely fill Speedwagon. I kind of stage them in an order from east to west in town, so I just travel one direction, and then I get to going. Usually when I'm delivering my bigs, I'll take the time and see if there's another package going to that address so I don't have to backtrack, but they have so much of the semi to load up, and these boxes are so big, I just grab and go. Yeah, I'll be retracing my steps a little bit later today, but this is a busy day. I got to get to rocking and rolling. So the run with my big and odd-shaped boxes takes about an hour. That's usually what I've found in the past. It feels like you're doing a whole lot of nothing, but I'm getting rid of those boxes so I can pack more efficiently for the next run or two. On the way back, that's what I'm debating. Wow, how many more runs? You know, 3 runs when I have my bigs, 2 runs if I don't have bigs, is generally what I've been doing so far this year and in years past. I'm thinking today, oh my, it's going to be 3 runs. And a run takes a minimum of 2.5 hours. And I'm thinking, you know, with my drive time back and forth, 15 miles for each load, I'm thinking, man, I'm going to be out till 6 o'clock or better in the dark. Oh, I hate that. So as I mentioned, I have several different strategies. One I implemented right off the bat, and that was get the bigs out of the way. Second strategy that I developed last year, we're looking at this section of town here right now. It's a subdivision, as you can see, that have 2 long parallel roads with just little tiny cul-de-sacs or little spur roads off of it. It's usually a pretty heavy package count. It's also one of those cookie cutter HOA subdivisions where everybody's front end kind of looks the same, and everybody has numbers that are in the brick facade, and that makes it really easy to find the addresses. So last year I started delivering them last because I can start on one end of the subdivision, work my way down from low number to high number, backtrack to the second street, and then do the same thing, low number to high number. I run westbound because there's not a tree out there. It's a new subdivision, no old growth trees. And let me tell you what, the Iowa winter wind howls. And I'll tell you what I do is I drive into the west and I leave my lift gate up and I just stop at each house, you know, bang, 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 run out, grab a package and go. Make the delivery back in the truck, drive another, 50 to 100 feet or 100 yards, drop off another one. It works out really slick. And it's pretty well lit there too. So that subdivision is going to be my last run. I'm not even going to be concerned about it. I can tell on my itinerary there's a lot of stops there, about maybe, say, 1/5 of a load. If there's got to be a 4th trip, then I don't mind doing that one at night. Plus, it's 50 degrees today. Pretty nice weather for this time of year in Iowa. A little overcast, but we can live with that. So I get all the bigs delivered, and I get back to the hub in West Ames about 10:10, which is an hour and 20 minutes after I left with the bigs. Took a little longer than I thought. But I have exaggerated drive time now by at least 7 miles, 15-mile round trip, 15 minutes. So anyway, I think I'm doing pretty good. When I get back, I decide to park Speedwagon so I can use the dash cam to give you a time lapse showing me how I sort and stage my boxes in the 1000 lot codes. It does take time, but I think it helps you later on out in the field. And we'll see how long it takes me here. It's about 10:12 a.m. Alright, half an hour. Seems to take twice that long, but it's worth it. You see me holding up an envelope here. It was torn and it didn't feel like there was anything in there, and so this is a first for me. Stuck my hand in there and the present was gone. God knows where it's at, probably underneath the conveyor somewhere. So I called Mark, the supervisor. He said, bring it to the hub and we'll take care of it. He goes, I don't know how to do that on your phone. Then another driver came in to swap out a box truck. I gave it to her so I didn't have to run back into town. That present's not getting delivered today. So as I've mentioned before, I kind of stage the boxes in a U-shape or 2 parallel lines. I'll have the 1000 lot codes here. Right next to it, I'll have the 2000, 3000, 4000. Then I'll start down the other side, 5000, 6000, 7000, so I know exactly where each 1000 lot code is. Then as I load them into Speedwagon using the itinerary or any other specific thing that I do, like running streets specifically, when I have to go to the 7000 lot code, I know right where that pile is and go look for the number. And since I have the room over here, you can see that I put the envelopes up on the riser, the conveyor riser, so that saves a little bending over. But again, I've got them from left to right, 1000 to 8000 lot codes. So it took me another 40 minutes to load up Speedwagon with this run too. You can see I'm hitting the road here at 11:15. The itinerary hasn't been working too good for me because I'm in several different sections of town, and like I've mentioned before, there are several streets, many streets in Nevada that don't run the full length. So the algorithm thinks it does when they're actually separated by, you know, a quarter mile from the previous stop that is directing you to the next stop. So I'm doing a full customized load just like I did last year, where I'm going to run down streets, make a U-turn, run down the next street, then I'll do that north and south, and then I'll switch back around and do east and west. Yes, I may pass a house that I have a package for, but I have found out it's a lot faster for me than trying to follow the itinerary and driving around in circles. This load here is 60 packages, which means I still have 75 left. And remember, I did 10 on the big run. And I thought to myself, man, there's no way I'm going to get 75 in Speedwagon. So the last 15 or 20, which is in that one subdivision, if that has to be the fourth run by itself, that's the way it's going to go. And as I've mentioned before, I only put one layer in. I don't double and triple up the layers. That just does not work for me. I can't reach in from a door to get to the middle of the cargo area of the truck. If you have a minivan or a smaller vehicle, possibly you could, but I only do one layer. I've also had boxes tip over, and when they tip over, it's a mess digging around trying to find that right package. But as I was leaving the hub with this second run, looking at those remaining 75, a lot of little boxes and a tremendous amount of envelopes, I think I'm going to be able to pack it all in for just 3 separate runs, but still, that's going to be time. How late am I going to be out? You just saw there on the time lapse a little bit, I pulled into the local Casey store and I got 2 slices of pizza, one for lunch and one for a mid-afternoon snack. I'm going to eat on the fly as I drive back and forth between Ames and Nevada. So remember, I started this second run about 11:15. I finished it up pretty quickly. It went pretty damn smooth. I get back to the hub about 1:20, so just a little over 2 hours. That includes a total of a half-hour drive time back and forth between Ames and Nevada. Back at the hub, I survey the remaining pile of packages and envelopes, and I think to myself, I'm getting this all in Speedwagon come hell or high water. I'm not going to take the time to come back for a fourth run, but I've got to do it smart, got to do it efficiently, and I'm thinking to myself, how do I do this? How do I do this? I'm still going to go with that one subdivision being the last section of town that I deliver. So I decide to pack and stack all of those boxes in no particular order. I just pick them off the floor, put them in Speedwagon behind my driver's seat. They're in no order. They're just stacked there as taking up as little room as possible. When I get to them, I can spread them out in the cargo area of Speedwagon and go from there. I run through the itinerary for the boxes that are left on the route here, and it looks pretty tight. I see some errors, so I decide to load per the itinerary algorithm and fix the minor errors that I saw. As I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of envelopes and a surprising number of smaller, less than shoebox size boxes, so I'm thinking I'm going to be able to get this all into Speedwagon. We're taking a look at a picture here. You can see that this stack of envelopes right here, or soft packages, they go to 2 separate stops that are not very far from each other, so they're going to be gone real quick when I get to that point. I mentioned once before that prior PVD last year, he put all the envelopes into a tote and then sat that in the front seat, the front passenger seat of his vehicle. And then when he got to a stop, the first thing he did was look over into that tote to see if that address was an envelope. If not, then he went to the back of the truck and found the package. I've never done that, but I did try that once last week, and it worked pretty good, really, once you remember to keep looking for the envelopes. Or when you're ready to go to a next stop, glance over at the envelope tote there and see what the next envelope is, and you go, okay, it's not the next stop, so I know I have to get in the back for a package. Okay, so anyway, I tried that and it worked out fairly well. I'll probably try to duplicate that again, but I decided not to do that today because I fear that I'm going to need to put the last few boxes that I stage in Speedwagon in the front seat, you know, and I've got to do that in a manner so it doesn't, you know, block my right side mirror. So not very much can go in there, but I don't want that tote with the envelopes taking up room, so I stage the envelopes in line in the back. About a half hour later, I'm all loaded up. All right, so it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I figure I've got at least 3 hours worth of delivery in the back of Speedwagon here, which puts me right at 5 p.m., which is when it's just really beginning to get dark here in central Iowa. I shouldn't have to be out in the dark too long. Without a doubt, this is the most number of packages I've ever had in Speedwagon for a run. So, you know, I really don't know. Could it be a 4-hour run? You know, so I feel pretty good. The staging went well. We're going to run with it and see what happens. Remember, the dash cam is an hour off. Time that I ended the run, 4:50 p.m. Wow, what a run. Record time, record package drop-offs. I am just happier than a pig in shit. Awesome day, Speed. We're giving you all that credit, man. You perform magnificently. You can see that we're starting to lose a little bit of light here. Of course, the dash camera makes that look a lot lighter out than it really is. You know, we can see the headlights on the pavement. But man, I'm done before 5 p.m. That is spectacular. I only got about 20 minutes of overtime, but that's okay. So Speedwagon and I cracked off 145 packages in 8.33 hours, which comes down to 17.4 packages per hour. That includes my drive time. That's my on-the-clock time from the moment I clocked in to the moment I clock out. I'm not going to whittle out my drive time back and forth between Ames and Nevada. This is the true metric right here. I've calculated this before in previous years, and I think 13 packages per hour was my maximum. So, you know, when you add 4.4 or so packages additionally per hour, that is just smoking the record, shattering the record. I couldn't believe I got it done that quick. But again, here's the thing. This is my third year into this UPS PVD, and I'm running the town that I live in and know pretty well. But look at it this way. I am only beginning my 6th month of employment as a PVD in December, given that UPS PVD peak season is only 2.5 months long. But it ain't over yet. This following Monday is Cyber Monday, which means 2, 3, 4 day shipping. We will be getting hit hard Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and possibly may work the following Saturday. I'm not sure about that yet. And then it just goes from here on out. It will slow down a little bit right before Christmas, but you know, I really hope I don't eclipse this package count, but I fear. But Speedwagon and I work good together, and we'll just take it as it comes. Alright guys and gals, that's all I've got for you today. Hopefully you can take something from this video and put it to use for yourself. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and hope to see you next time.